Hey Chem Teachers! It's me, Kendra, and I'm the creator of Chem Solutions, and it's my mission to change the narrative around high school chemistry. One that used to be surrounded with abstractness and our students feeling frustrated and teachers bringing work home every day. And I want to change that to having teachers have a life outside of class and our students to feel confident and successful in their day-to-day work in the classroom. So one of the things that we're going to talk about this week is about Bellwork and what I do with my Bellwork and some examples for a unit on acids and bases. So for me, Bellwork is about looking at small, tiny, minute aspects of what I taught the day before that I know typically trip up students or that I want to check for understanding so that way we can build on it the next day. I try to make my Bellwork questions really short and easy to do, easy for students to recognize. I don't try to throw them for any loops when I do it. So for example, for acids and bases, I like to focus on first naming and writing formulas. And if you have my notes, you know how I set up for my students to learn how to name with the easy recall that we use. And so I would just give one of each type of acid. And then I also like to include a base just to remind students that, hey, we're talking about acids and bases. Acids are a new thing to name, but we have bases in here as well. So we can see that we have the ic ending, the us ending, and the hydro-ic, plus we have our magnesium hydroxide. And I would just have my students write it out, and then here they are, they get their answer. Now remember that if you are subscribed to our email list, in our community, that one of those free gifts that I gave to you way back when you signed up was a Bellwork sheet template, and this follows that exact template. If you haven't gotten that, make sure that you click the link below. It's www.chemedsolutions.com/chem-guide, all one word, all lowercase, and that'll take you to sign up for our free course outline and one of the freebies that you will get in the email sequence. I believe it's on day 2, is our Bellwork sheet that I used every year, every day in my classroom to keep my students organized. So after we talked about this would just be one day, and then the next day I'd say, okay, well, a little trickier now is going back the other directions. So I'd say, let's write the names of our form names of, again, acids and bases, and again, making sure that I have one of each listed. So it's really important that you make sure that all of them are there. That way your students can understand where they're getting stuck. From there, we get into neutralization reactions. So I like to ask them to predict the products and balance the neutralization reaction between magnesium hydroxide and chloric acid. So I write this out as names, and then I have them write formulas, balance it, and you could even go a step further, have them assign states of matter. They should all be aqueous. You could have them write this out as words too. But again, I'm looking for, can they transfer this from names to formulas, and then can they predict their products? Something that you'll notice is when I wrote H2O, I write a lot of it as HOH in acids and bases, just to really drive home that water came from the acidic hydrogen and the hydroxide. So I have my students write like this. We talk about that it's really water, but this helps them tremendously when they are going through and balancing their reactions. Another thing that we talk about is pH and pOH calculations. So I would have them do it in a chart, mainly for the simplicity of doing it on the board. So this helps get all of our information. Here, let me zoom out a little bit for you. There we go. So here you can see that I have the full list here with hydrogen ion concentration, pH, hydroxide ion concentration, pOH, acidic or basic, and I want to have one that's going to be acidic and one that's going to be more basic. And then I would have them fill it out. And when we're going back and forth throughout the board, I would ask them, okay, somebody, what can we fill in next for this one? Oh, I can fill in pH. How did you get there? And they say how they got there. And they call somebody else. What else could we do? And so I have it be a back and forth. I don't have one person just write down all the things in order because that might not be how they figured it out. And I want to talk strategy. So that is what I would typically do for a couple of acid-based ones. Obviously, we spend more than 4 days in the unit, but this should give you an idea of what different types of Bellwork questions to ask. Remember, Bellwork questions are happening in the first couple of minutes of class. I don't want it to take more than 5 minutes because our time is precious, but it gives our students something to work on right away and gets you a couple of minutes to quick take attendance, check in with kids who are absent, and then get on with the rest of your class. If you enjoyed this teacher tip and you would like to get more, know that you can sign up, like I said, at the link below at chemedsolutions.com/chem guide. And I will send out weekly emails, typically on Tuesdays around lunchtime. And they have teacher tips like this, plus other great resources to help you lessen the burden of teaching on your life and also increase your students' success and confidence in the world of chemistry. So thanks for hanging out and happy sciencing.